Imagine surviving the initial apocalypse, mastering the basics of survival, and realizing that the system doesn't just want you to fight, it wants you to build. But in a world where resources are scarce and every brick counts as experience, construction is an act of war. You are not just a survivor, you are an architect, capable of raising fortresses from rubble and turning defensive lines into kill zones. Welcome to RuinForged Architect Book Two, the second explosive installment in Malik Mark's They Thought Wrong series. If you love deeply crunchy LitRPG progression, base-building mechanics, and the sheer, unadulterated dopamine hit of watching a protagonist min-max their way through a hostile world by turning the environment itself into a weapon, this audiobook will completely consume you. It is a masterclass in progression fantasy, blending tactical dungeon crawling with the awe-inspiring thrill of creating order out of chaos. The narrative kicks off with our protagonist having established a foothold in the previous book, only to realize that their success has made them a target. Rival factions, monstrous hordes, and even the system itself are pushing back against his growing influence. The atmosphere is a brilliant mix of gritty post-apocalyptic tension and the surreal, awe-inspiring reality of seeing blueprints overlay the ruined landscape. Mark excels at making the progression feel incredibly grounded and rewarding, turning every crafted wall, every trapped corridor, and every upgraded turret into a massive, hard-earned victory against an unstoppable tide of destruction. At the core of the book's addictive appeal is its brilliantly logical, deeply crunchy progression system and the spectacular base builder trope. This isn't just about swinging a hammer, it's about optimizing resource chains, understanding complex structural synergies, and using the environment to outsmart enemies who are stronger and faster. Watching the protagonist reverse engineer enemy tactics, craft overpowered defensive structures from scrap, and completely shock arrogant, high-tier elites with their sudden, inexplicable mastery of siege warfare is incredibly satisfying. The audiobook narration brings the visceral impact of the combat and the satisfying chiming ding of a massive level up to life, making every milestone feel like a hard-earned victory. But beyond the stats and the construction, the soul of They Thought Wrong lies in its characters and the heavy burden of leadership. The protagonist isn't just a cold, calculating builder. They are a deeply human individual struggling to maintain their morality in a world that rewards ruthlessness. He quickly forms bonds with a beautifully dysfunctional found family of survivors who help him navigate the treacherous waters of the new social order. The banter is razor-sharp, providing much-needed levity as his friends watch him casually calculate the load-bearing capacity of a monster skull. Their unbreakable trust in him provides the emotional grounding needed when the world starts throwing literal world-ending threats their way. As the plot accelerates towards its climax, the pacing becomes utterly breathless. A massive, coordinated assault by a rival faction or a high-tier dungeon break forces the protagonist to push their abilities to their absolute limits. The finale is a spectacular display of tactical brilliance, overwhelming defensive firepower, and raw, unbridled ingenuity. The protagonist doesn't just survive the assault, he completely shatters the local power scaling, using a ridiculous, highly technical combination of skills and crafting to turn the enemy's ultimate attack into a mere stepping stone for his next expansion. The payoff is spectacular, delivering a massive, dopamine-fueled victory that proves the most dangerous class in the system isn't the one with the biggest sword, it's the one who controls the ground they stand on. RuinForged Architect Book Two is a triumph of the LitRPG and post-apocalyptic genres. It is smart, action-packed, and unapologetically addictive. Malik Mark has created a sequel that perfectly captures the thrill of breaking the apocalypse with a blueprint and a brick. Plug in your headphones, check your resources, and join the architect. The world is broken, but he's building something better.